Hello, my friends. Welcome to Lake Superior. This is Stony Point, and we have been here before quite a few times, but I have come to a different spot for me, a little bit around the bend from my normal location, just to see what's here, and I found something great. So I'm gonna do a quick little video, something maybe will make a somewhat regular appearance. We'll see. This is a bit of an experiment, but I'm gonna call it single shot. I am here, I found something, I'm gonna take a picture of it, probably just one picture today. We're gonna take this one picture, go home, edit it, show you this process start to finish for me. So I'm gonna show you the image that I found. I've got this one kind of great chunk of rock sitting on top of this black rock, and then behind it I've got Lake Superior just kind of churning up in this little tiny alcove. And that's the shot. I'm shooting really low, very close to the piece of ice. I'm shooting at a 14 millimeter, ISO 50, f16, and a 13-second exposure. I have a 10-stop neutral density to give me that really long exposure, and that's smoothing out my water behind it. No polarizer, because I actually want the glare off the ice today, because it helps give that texture and dimension and shape to it. So we're leaving that in there. So pop down here, show you what we're looking at. We'll take this image, we'll go home and we'll edit it, start to finish, and we'll see what we end up with. Hopefully, something good. Whew, oh, that was a good one. All right, so, as I mentioned, you can see the setup, you can see me. I'm inches away from this chunk of ice in front. Shooting at an ISO 50, again, just going over the settings, ISO 50, f16, 13-second exposure, 10-stop neutral density, giving me that really long exposure, and just kind of waiting for waves to wash up here and give me a little bit of interesting texture in the water, right like that. And that's the shot. All right, so you can see ice right here, and it's like, boom, right there. I am 5 inches away from it, focusing on the piece of ice in there, and then just all that kind of, it's just a little bit of a rock formation there, big piece of ice. That's kind of the shot. It's real simple. Exactly the kind of shot that I like. So now that we've got it, let's go edit it. All right, here we are, we're back. So we've gone out, we've taken our image, we've brought it back, we've put it up on the computer. Now there's nothing to do but look at it, assess it, and make the tweaks and the edits that we like to come up with a final image, and that's exactly what we're gonna do. We've got it loaded up in Lightroom here. Now we're gonna look at it and make some decisions. I think I might like it in black and white. That was my thought out in the field shooting it. I could change my mind, I don't know. We're gonna look at it and see. So let's do exactly that, shall we? All right, so as I said, we've got all the images loaded up into the computer. Throw on our glasses so we can see what we're doing. Here we are, let's jump into the develop module. This is the image we're gonna edit. I have a couple that I've taken and I'm just kind of like looking at the differences, and I like the ice, I like the sun, the light and everything on the ice on this one. So that's the one I'm gonna use. I'm gonna use this one right here. I've marked it with the flag just so I don't lose track of that. We're gonna jump into the develop module here. And as you can see right away, we need to correct this horizon line. We're a little crooked and we've got a little bit of lens distortion. So we're gonna just jump right into lens correction, enable chromatic aberration, because always. And then our lens profile loads up. Shot it on a Canon EOS 17-40, that's all, yep, And you can see it took care of our line, but we're a little bit crooked. So we're gonna jump into crop. Let's try auto, see if it flattens this out well. And it did a good job. We're gonna go with that. We like it. Great. So, jumping into the basic module, we're gonna decide what we're gonna do. And I'll do this every once in a while. I'll just go ahead and hit auto right here and see what it does. I don't hate this, actually. It's kind of okay. Let's check us for sharp. Got a couple little spots we're gonna have to get rid of, but we're nice and sharp. Ooh, look at that cool little ice pattern in there. But that's good and sharp everywhere. We're a little out in the background. That's all right though, because we don't care about the background a whole lot. But we like it. Let's reset it and just try some of our basic stuff. Oh, we lost our lens correction. Let's put all that back in. Come back to basic. Here's a little trick I use. This is kind of where I always start. Let's level this back out again. And if you hold down the shift key and double click on the white, Lightroom will set a white point for you. I don't always agree with what Lightroom does. And in this particular instance, I don't know that I do. If you hit Alt and click on the slider, it'll show you what it's doing. It's trying to take everything away. I don't mind what's going on in there. It's trying to get rid of all these specular highlights that are in here. They're not bothering me. They're kind of adding to it. And like I said earlier, I think I might end up going black and white on this. The blacks aren't really doing anything. Again, same sort of thing. Alt click on the slider. You can see your black points in there. They're all fine. All of those areas in the image are in fact black. There's no information in there to gain. So we're gonna leave it. We're gonna start with our temperature and see what we think about this. Actually, let's start with my exposure. I'm gonna up my exposure just a little. Yeah, like a quarter of a stop. Kind of like what it's doing right in here on this ice. See what the contrast is. Let's play with that a little. I'm gonna add just a little bit of contrast to it. And these are the two sliders I play with, texture and clarity. Clarity is just kind of more of a, I guess, a mid-tone difference, and I really like what clarity is doing right down here in the ice. So that might be a bit much. We're gonna back that off. Well, let's see what texture does. Sometimes, yeah, texture's good too. I like that. That's really nice. And then vibrance, again, this is not doing a lot. There's not a lot of vibrancy to the scene. You can go crazy with it. I don't hate it, I don't love it. I'm gonna give it a little bit of vibrance, about the 20. It's kind of giving just a little bit of warmth to this sunlight ray back here. But this is ice and it's cold, so you kind of want to do. Sometimes I'll split tone these, so I'll like make this ice cool and maybe these rocks kind of a cooler tone. Let's play with our temperature there. Yeah, but then I don't like what it's doing back here. So you could do a couple of things there. You could take it into Photoshop and duplicate. I think we're going to cool us off just a little bit overall. I think that's great. I like it right there. Let's jump into our color adjustments here in Lightroom. I almost always just stick with the moderns. Just want to see the colors right now. I like modern 1 there. And I find a lot of times some of these just go a little too far or just are completely off the mark. Kind of like in 1, but like I said, these usually just go a little too far. There's a little too much texture in this guy, so I'm gonna back it off, probably like, 55-ish or so. I like that. Great, a little bit of sharpening. It's at 40. Alt click, and I'm gonna drag to the right. Now what this is doing is showing me my sharpening mask, because I don't want to just sharpen everything. I'm just gonna kind of settle out here and just get my edges. There we go. A little bit of a vignette on it, teeny tiny. Good. Now crop. Let's play with this. Do I like this in a square crop? Maybe I do. I don't know that I do. I want a little bit of that sky information in there, so we're going to come back to original. 4x5 is one I like an awful lot. Sometimes. And there's not a lot going on in that sky, so that might be just enough. Give me just kind of that chunk of ice right there, just a little bit of interest in the sky. Not much. Let's do a 4x3. Kind of the same thing, but narrower. That's what I like, is a little 4x3. Now, I'm looking at my sky, I'm looking at this water. It's just a little overblown, I think. So, grab a neutral density. Let's drag this out here. Kind of like what that's doing to my sky. How far in can I come? Yeah, that's all right. Let's try a little luminosity mask and see if I can keep it off of that ice. It's show me what it's doing. So I'm gonna pull it into here, and we're gonna adjust the range on our mask. I just wanna try to get it, I wanna try to keep it off of this little tip of the ice if I can. I'm trying to keep this image really simple and keep it all inside of Lightroom rather than jumping into Photoshop and doing a big scale luminosity mask. I think that's going to work out okay right there. That pulls my exposure down on that a little bit. So here you can see, turn this off, turn that on again. You can see what that's doing to our background. I like that, and I actually kind of like that it's spilled over into our ice. It's helping us a little bit with the detail on that tip. That could have us done on this guy, I think. Yeah, let's play with our tint a little. We want to... get out of there. Play with the tint here. Nope, I like where we're at with that. Okay, now we're going to come in here with our little spot healing tool and just a couple little bracket key, make it a little bit smaller. Just a couple of these little ones that are, you can barely notice these. You really only see these if you zoom in to like 100%. So it may not be worth it. I think those were the ones I was seeing. Yeah. There it is. That's a done image. That's simple. Again, sometimes it's just play with it. Just play with the sliders, tweak around a little bit. Lightroom now has some of these built-in presets that are kind of fun to play with. Okay, and there we go. That's the finished image. Not a lot to it. Every image is a little different, but for me, my editing style is put it up on the screen and play with it and see what you think. Sometimes in the field, as I'm taking the image, I can see very clearly what I want to do to it. I want to make it black and white. Do I want to split tone it? Am I going to dodge and burn any of that? Sometimes I know exactly what I'm going to do at the moment of capture. More often than not, I just come home and play with them in Lightroom and see if there's anything to do with it. You know, and as you manipulate sliders and look at things, ideas come to you, and so that's my workflow. Put it up on the screen and mess around, see what you think, and that's what I think of that one. I think that's a pretty decent little shot. I like it and it's fun. And there it is. I hope you enjoyed this too. Like I said, maybe this will become kind of a regular thing where we go out, take one picture, come back and edit it. Let me know in the comments below. Is this the sort of thing you want to see more of? But I think that's going to be it for us today. So from my little closet office here in Duluth, Minnesota, I want to just thank you for tagging along with me. I hope you found it enjoyable. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you want to see more, and tell your friends, because the more the merrier. And so long, and we'll see you next time. What else can I do to this thing?